Do your kids act like vegetables are personally offensive to them? Like you put one little piece of broccoli on their plate and suddenly it feels like dinner was over before it even started. Hi, I'm Alex, pediatric dietitian and mom of two. Here at the Good Eaters Club, we're on a mission to redefine what it means to be a good eater. A good eater doesn't have to eat all their vegetables. Because a good eater doesn't mean loving vegetables right away. It means learning to explore food, build trust, and simply feel comfortable around it. First things first, let's normalize something. Vegetables are one of the hardest foods for kids to learn to like. And it's not because you're doing anything wrong. Here's why they're the hardest. Kids are more sensitive to bitter flavors. The textures of vegetables can be really inconsistent and unpredictable. They're often served at dinner when kids are tired, overstimulated, and over the day completely. They're also really difficult to chew. So if your child doesn't love vegetables, it actually makes sense. If we want to help kids learn to try vegetables without any pressure, first we need to learn about Ellen Satter's division of responsibility. And the division of responsibility is essentially understanding what your role is as a parent or caregiver at meals and what your child's role is. Yes, we have roles. No, this isn't a theatrical play. Your job is to decide what, where, and when food is offered. And your child's job is to decide if and how much they eat. So it's not your job to make them eat their vegetables. It's your job to keep offering in a supportive, low-pressure way. Okay, let's talk about some strategies. We need to start by making vegetables less overwhelming. If kids don't like vegetables yet, we need to start by offering very small portions. I mean, teeny tiny portions. Yes, that means even one piece sometimes. We need to pair them with foods your child already likes, like spinach in banana pancakes. No, you can't taste the spinach. And we need to avoid making them the main focus of the meal. Think exposure, not expectation. Another strategy is food chaining. And food chaining is one of the best strategies for picky eaters. Essentially, you start with a food that your child really loves and change one thing about it, whether that's the color, shape, way it's prepared, the texture, the temperature, to bridge to something new. This might look like starting with veggie straws, then moving to snap pea crisps, and eventually moving to fresh snap peas. Maybe you start with French fries. Then you go to a sweet potato fry. And next you go to a roasted sweet potato. You're not jumping straight to the green vegetable. We're building familiarity step by step. Another helpful strategy is to use dips. No, it doesn't cancel out the nutrition either. Dips can make a big difference. And I don't care what dip you use. It could be ketchup, maple syrup. I don't care. A veggie with dip is better than no veggie at all. Plus, some of the dips that have fat in them, like Greek yogurt, hummus, guacamole, even ranch, the fats in those actually help our body better absorb certain vitamins. The next strategy that I think is so important is getting your kids involved in the kitchen. Kids are much more likely to try a food if they help prepare it. And let me tell you, the amount of times my kids have eaten something while they're helping prepare it versus me putting it on their plate, it's wild. You can have them wash the produce, or as I like to say, give it a bath. They can stir things. They can sprinkle in herbs and seasonings. And my favorite way to get kids involved in the kitchen is to let them use kid-safe knives. I promise these are safe to use. They don't cut through skin, but as always, kids should be supervised when they're in the kitchen. When kids feel more involved, they're much more open to trying. So let's say you try all these things and they still won't try it. If they don't want to eat the vegetable, don't force it. But we can still help them interact with it in some way, shape, or form. This might look like asking them to squish their pea on their plate, counting how many carrot sticks they have, feeding whatever vegetable it is you have to you, or asking them to put it on your plate instead of their own. These are all steps in learning to eat. Eating is just one part of the process, but often the process that we expect from kids. But I want you to know that progress towards learning to like vegetables, or any food for that matter, can look like touching it, smelling it, licking it, or even just tolerating being around it. Those things still count. If you take away one thing from this, it's that it's not your job to force vegetables. Your job is to create opportunities for your child to learn and engage with them, and maybe even try them. If this was helpful, make sure you subscribe below so you never miss an episode of the Good Eaters Club, where you can get more realistic, low-pressure ways to feed your kids.